So please join. Again, mukhang the last time absent ako. So, and to call on our, to acknowledge the members of our talking heads. No? We have the Commodore Trinidad from the Philippine Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea. Of course, we have our Colonel Padilla, our AP spokesperson. Just to make sure tama yung mga, sino yung mga kino-quote niyo, ha? Then kompleto ang ating service spouse. No? We have from the Philippine Army, Colonel Louis Di Maala, the Army spokesperson and public affairs. We have ano ba to? Commander. Kala ko captain na eh. Commander Alcos from the Director of the Philippine Navy Navy Public Affairs Office, the spokesperson, and Colonel Castillo from the Philippine Air Force spokesperson and public affairs. To acknowledge the members of our media for today's weekly presser, first we have members from the ABS-CBN. I think Bianca will be coming. I will be catching up. From GMA, we have Marie Sumali leading. And TV5, we have Tirso Joseph. From TV4, we have Patrick. IBC 13, present. We have Zon. From UNTV, we have Ryan. Of course, from the print.
Thank you to our AFP pal. He already acknowledged each and everyone. So without further ado, let's begin with our updates for the past week's activities of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Australian Defence Force in Sydney and Canberra, during which the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, met with the Australian Chief of Defence Force, General Angus J. Campbell, for a bilateral meeting held on March 7th. The Chief of Staff of the AFP, Chief of Staff for Education and Training, J8, the Deputy Chief of Staff for Retiree and Reservist Affairs, J9, and the Deputy Chief of Staff for Financial Management, J10. The meeting was conducted in the spirit of operation, emphasizing the strong ties between the AFP and the Australian Defence Force. This meeting exemplifies the enduring friendship and mutual respect between our two nations. We look forward to further enhancing our cooperative efforts and building on the positive outcomes of this engagement. Second, the AFP received a +85 net trust rating and a +84 net satisfaction rating based on the fourth quarter 2023 Tugon ng Masa survey by Okta Research. This is an affirmation of the hard work and dedicated service of every soldier, airman, sailor, and marine in the performance of our mandate to the Filipino people. The AFP would like to thank the Filipino people for their continued trust. Rest assured that we will continue to fight to protect our people and our sovereignty. We will continue to work hard for our country and will remain united and professional at all times. Our fellow countrymen have great trust in our armed forces, and we will not allow this trust to be destroyed. In terms of our internal security operations, the Armed Forces of the Philippines continues its intelligence-based, focused military operations against the communist terrorist groups, the CTGs, and the local terrorist groups, LTGs. Following are the significant operations that yielded positive results in our internal security campaign. With our relentless operations conducted by the 901st Brigade against the CTGs, 9 communist NPA terrorists, along with 6 firearms, simultaneously surrendered on Saturday afternoon, March 9, to the 29th Infantry Battalion in Agusan del Norte and the 36th Infantry Battalion in Surigao del Sur. The CTG members, who became seriously tired and exhausted, have expressed their desire to reunite with their families. On the same day, 2 members of the Bangsamoro Islamic Federation fighters, or the BIFF, were killed following an encounter with operating troops from the 1st Brigade Combat Team of the 6th Infantry Division, Philippine Army in Datu Saudi Maampatuan, Maguindanao del Sur around 5 o'clock in the morning. Meanwhile, following are the total enemy neutralized and firearms seized from 01 January to 07 March 2024. 348 neutralized communist terrorist group members and supporters broken down to 301 surrendered, 14 apprehended, and 33 killed. A total of 175 firearms and 44 anti-personnel mines were either captured or surrendered, and 41 encampments were seized. In the same period, a total of 45 local terrorist group members were neutralized, broken down to 27 surrendered, 1 apprehended, and 16 killed. A total of 44 firearms and 4 anti-personnel mines were either captured or surrendered, and 5 encampments were seized. In terms of the territorial defense operations, or sa usapin pong West Philippine Sea, the following are the sightings of Chinese vessels in the West Philippine Sea as of 4 p.m. of March 11. In Bajo de Masinloc, 5 China Coast Guard vessels, 18 China maritime militia vessels, and 10 China small boats. In Ayungin Shoal, 1 China Coast Guard vessel, 6 China fishing vessels. In Pag-asa Island, 1 China Coast Guard vessel and 6 China fishing vessels. In Panatag Island, 7 China fishing vessels. There are no significant sightings on the West Philippine Sea's other features. Meanwhile, the Armed Forces of the Philippines will continue its rotation and reprovision, or the RORE missions, in other islands and features in the West Philippine Sea. Following the last RORE in Patag and Lawak stations in last February 18 to 21, the Western Command Armed Forces of the Philippines is now preparing another RORE at Rizal Reef and Likas stations on 03 to 06 March 2024. On the other hand, the next RORE at Pag-asa, Kota, Panata, and Parola will be conducted in the first week of April. We now proceed with the major service updates. For the AFP major services, the following are the significant updates and the upcoming activities. For the Philippine Army, a send-off ceremony was held for Army troops who are part of the first ever large-scale combined arms training exercise, or what we call the CATEX. CATEX Katihan at the Combat Readiness Training Area in Barangay Canantong, Laur, Nueva Ecija on March 8 of 2024. CATEX Katihan effectively tests the Army's capability to move, maneuver, and sustain large-scale forces during combat operations. The exercise, which is anchored on Philippine Army Implementing Plan Maragtas, will wrap up on March 18, 2024 through an after-activity review that will be held at the Training and Doctrine Command's headquarters in Camp O'Donnell, Capas, Tarlac. For the Philippine Air Force, the joint acceptance turnover and blessing ceremony of the 2 T-129 attack helicopters and 1 C-130 tactical transport aircraft is tentatively scheduled on March 18, 2024 at Clark Air Base in Mabalacat City in Pampanga. For the Philippine Navy, a total of 119 patriotic volunteers were formally integrated in the Philippine Navy Reserve Force during the closing ceremony of the Basic Citizen Military Course, or the BCMC, classes 01-24, 02-24, and 03-24 at Basco Municipal Gymnasium, Basco, Batanes, with Vice Admiral Toribio D. Adasi Jr., the Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, and Honorable Marilu H. Caico, the Governor of Batanes, that was held on Saturday, March 9, 2024. The strengthening of the Philippine Navy Reserve Force will significantly contribute to the Navy's active archipelagic defense strategy. It will bolster the Navy's capabilities in projecting the naval force in our exclusive economic zone and extending in-depth defensive posture in order to protect the Philippine territory. Not only will the newly graduated reservists help strengthen the defense of our northern maritime areas, they will also assist in emergencies and calamities as needed by the regular AFP force. That's about it for all the issues and concerns that for all of the updates, for last week. Sir?
Okay, we now come to our question and answer. Bilis kagad tumaas ng PTV4. Late ka, mamaya. Muna muna sa PTV4. Kindly mention your name, outfit, and your question directed to any of our talking heads present. Thank you.
Good morning po. Patrick po from PTV, kay Colonel Padilla po. Ma'am, kunin lang po namin yung reaction po ng AFP dun sa resulta po ng Octa Research Survey wherein majority of Filipinos are willing to fight for our country.
So, yan po.
In terms of external defense.
Yes, no? Ito, two-pronged to, no? We had a very high trust rating, and at the same time, it also shows to the poll na malaki nga po yung suporta ng taong bayan sa Armed Forces of the Philippines. So sa words po ng ating Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Brownell Jr., nagpapasalamat po kami sa napakaganda pong resulta nitong survey that was conducted. So in terms of the Armed Forces, the Chief of Staff also gave his standing orders to our troops and soldiers that we will not be breaking the trust that was given to us. So over and above thanking them for their support, we also enjoin our soldiers to maintain being professional and united.
Thank you, Patrick.
Kay Commodore, tinidad na lang po.
Sige.
Sir, sa Benham Rise po, sir, may update po ba? May sightings pa rin po ba ng mga Chinese vessels? Kamusta po yung monitoring, sir?
Yeah, first and foremost, the two previous search vessels were not sighted in Benham Rise. They were monitored passing through. And this was also confirmed by a Philippine Coast Guard air surveillance flight that there are no foreign ships monitored or seen in Benham Rise. As of yesterday, no foreign vessel has been monitored passing through Benham Rise.
Thank you, Patrick. Raising hand is generic of Inquirer.
So good morning, address po kay Sir Trinidad po. Sorry sir. Sir, alam ko po sir, last week pa ito, may cited na US Navy. Sa high seas naman sir, after daw nung RORE, nandun sila sir. What's the US Navy? Can we confirm sir?
The presence of the US Navy was not within our territorial waters.
Yes sir.
They were there based on the freedom of navigation mentioned or afforded to all nations in the UNCLOS. What they were doing there, I would like to ask you to ask the PAO of Indo-PACOM.
Yes sir, ito sir, meron naman din sinabi sir si Vice Admiral Carlos na napapansin daw nila every RORE biglang dumadami yung mga Chinese vessels doon sir. What's your take on that sir? Bakit ganun?
It is what it is. He has said that. That is his statement. We don't contradict it. We are not concerned with the intent again or the numbers. What we are concerned about are the actions conducted against us. Regardless of the numbers, the actions are more concerning to us.
Thank you sir. Then kay Ma'am Bon Castillo po, update lang po ma'am sa forest fire tsaka sa cloud seeding po.
Good morning everyone. Regarding sa cloud seeding operations ng Philippine Air Force, dalawang klase ito, no? First is yung support natin sa cloud seeding operations sa Region 2, Cagayan, which is for that, ang contribution ng Philippine Air Force are our weathermen, our weather experts and technicians, in cooperation with the LGU and with the Department of Agriculture and the Bureau of Soils and Water Management. So sila ay nag-charter ng isang private plane, and then with the help of our Air Force personnel, our weather technicians, nag-conduct sila ng series of cloud seeding operations, and the good thing is naging magandang resulta. Nagkaroon ng rains dun sa area ng Region 2, specifically in northern Isabela and southern Cagayan. And mostly yung mga tinarget nila yung mga corn crops natin doon. And so naging magandang resulta ng cloud seeding operations natin sa Cagayan. And then as for yung cloud seeding operations natin in Benguet, so today will be the last cloud seeding operation. It has been running for a few days already. I believe it started last week. And then, ang naging resulta nito is naging damp yung areas surrounding yung forest fires, and nakatulong daw based sa observation ng Bureau of Fire Protection doon, based sa report din ng ating Tactical Operations Group 1, nagkaroon ng rains sa Baguio kasi for the past days talagang mainit at walang ulan. And dahil naging damp yung areas surrounding the areas of fire, na suppress yung pag-spread ng fire. Right now, ang reports nila, there are still incidents of fire, pero pockets of fire na lang. So that's it for the updates regarding our cloud seeding operations at the Philippine Air Force. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Colonel Consticio. Next to be questions by Edniel Perosa of DZRH.
Kay Commodore Trinidad. Sir, good morning. May sinabi si Governor Cayco last week na magtatayo ng port doon sa Batanes, US funded. Ang sinasabi US Army yung popondo, tapos tulong daw doon sa mga OFW sa Taiwan in case na magkaroon ng emergency. Hindi ba to makakapagdagdag ng tensyon doon sa norte? O may tulong ba ito sa kabilang panig? May tulong ba to sa ginagawa natin na pagpapalakas ng presensya up there sa norte po?
The Philippine Navy and the Armed Forces is always preparing for any eventuality across the spectrum of conflict, from peace to crisis to wartime. Exercises with foreign counterparts are also designed to improve our capability. And part of this, we have what we call exercise-related constructions to be able to assist foreign forces and our local forces. More importantly, it will capacitate the local community size. So any development of the exercises conducted in the Northern Islands are primarily for use of the locals. These are joint or multi-use, primarily for the fisher folks. This could be used for any eventuality during crisis, typhoons, HADR.
Pero ang magkocontrol doon sa area, paano po? Sino pong magkocontrol doon sa area?
These are all ultimately turned over to the local government units. And it happens not only it will happen not only in the Northern Islands. It has happened even in other areas that we have had exercises with foreign countries.
Pero since funded siya ng US Army, possible ba na magkaroon din ng US soldiers presence doon na regular eventually, sir?
It's not stipulated it's not anymore allowed to have regular foreign troops in country.
Thank you, Commodore Trinidad, sir. We hope the next question will be coming from Maris Umali from GMA.
Sir, Commodore Trinidad.
Huwag mo munang walis niya, sir, kasi mukhang kayo ata yung tatanungin.
Sir, good morning. Good morning to everyone. Sir, with regards to the latest tensions, kasi yung pinakamatindi yung tinamaan na po talaga yung Onaiza, di ba? And hindi lang yung mismong mga vessels yung tinamaan, meron na rin pong nasasaktan. I understand that the tensions are mostly between the Philippine Coast Guard, China Coast Guard, maritime militia. Pero how is the AFP responding to these increasing tensions, especially in terms of really ensuring the safety and the interests of our country, especially in the West Philippine Sea?
Thank you, Maris. First and foremost, I would like to state that this is not the most intense situation that the Philippine Navy and the AFP has been into. In 1993, 1994, in Mischief Reef, it was gray on gray. When China first occupied Mischief Reef, before they put up the fishermen shelters, before they started reclamation, they stationed Navy ships inside Mischief Reef, and they barred our ships from going in. There were a couple of standoffs in 93-94 between Navy ships and PLA Navy ships. That was intense. This was a normal water cannon incident. It happened 3 months ago, 4 months ago. What makes this special or different is that the shattering of the glass, and 4 of our personnel were injured. So I don't want to say that this is the most intense. In terms of injured, we have had 4 injured personnel. We don't want it to happen. That's why we have been saying that these illegal, unprofessional, uncalled for actions of the PLA Navy, the Coast Guard, the CCG should stop. It could lead to any untoward incident that nobody would like to be into. Kagaya nitong 4 na nasugatan. But in spite of that, the Philippine Navy and the entire armed forces, we are happy, we are strong, we are united as shown by the result of the survey. We will continue performing our mandate in the West Philippine Sea.
Sir, hindi naman sinabing most intense right now. What I'm saying is that there is increasing tensions with regards, or if you're going to compare it from the previous incidents, no? Pero right now po ba, how exactly, what exactly would be the contributions of the AFP with regard, and I understand that your presence there would maybe increase the tensions all the more, but meron na po bang tayo nakikitang need na magpadala na rin, or ano po ba yung pinakamatinding contributions na pwede nating maibigay ngayon to really protect our interests?
At the onset, the Philippine Navy, Western Command, and the Armed Forces conducts the RORE. It is a military operation.
Okay.
So our presence has always been there.
Okay.
The details of the posture of the forces at ground level is at the discretion of the Commander Western Command.
Sir, meron po ba tayong update dun sa repair in the damaged resupply boats?
Yes, the Commander Western Command mentioned yesterday in my talk with him that they are trying to get it up and ready as soon as possible. Not only Oneida May 4, but also I think Oneida May 2.
Kasi sir, di ba parang ang dami nang nasisira. Paano natin mapagpapatuloy yung mga yung mga missions natin?
In the Philippine Navy, our ships undergo a periodic maintenance schedule. Not only the Oneida May 1, 2, 3, 4, but all Navy ships have a regular maintenance and repair schedule. Napapadalas lang ito because of the increase in the op tempo. So it's inherent upon the Philippine Navy to ensure that the repair and maintenance is up to the need of the operating units, of the operating commander.
Sir, parang in general lang, how do these recent developments impact the overall security situation in our region?
Minimal.
You consider this minimal?
Minimal.
Why?
It's not, again, I said it's not the most intense.
Yes, we understand it is not the most intense, but this is quite intense in the recent memory that we can consider. Kasi what you're mentioning, sir, which is the most intense, is back in 1993. Ngayon po nandito
Not
na tayo
only in
sa
93, it was gray on gray. We have had incidents of nudging of kate across the bow, and anything could have happened. Somebody could have fallen off, there could have been loss of life or limb. It just so happened for this particular incident, the windshield shattered. It could have shattered the previous water cannon incident. So these are the tensions that is now part of the new normal, the new operating environment. We just have to ensure that all our actions are backed up by international law. So it is not an isolated case against
in addressing these challenges in the West Philippine Sea.
It is important in as much as all players of the maritime domain have to be afforded access to the global commons, and no one country should be allowed to control international sea lanes, because as I mentioned, they should remain free and open for all players in the maritime domain.
Thank you, Maris. Thank you, Commodore Trinidad, sir. Next. Pahinga nyo naman muna sandali. Anyway, Victor Reyes of Malaya.
The Composition, a naval operation conducted by Naval Forces West of the naval component of the Western Command. The composition of what type of ship, what capability to use, is at the discretion of the Commander of Western Command, subject to guidance from higher headquarters.
So what's the danger of that, sir, in case na we use Navy ships? Would this escalate the tension, sir?